West Aussie driver Travis Sharp is a newcomer to the Dial Before You Dig Saloon cars this year. And after stepping up from state level, he's committed to the full national campaign.
We've stepped up from doing the state rounds to the Australian rounds this year, and learning all the tracks, experience, and with all the other guys is a big challenge, but we're picking it up pretty good and getting some good results out of it. It's just a lot tougher. You got to get your head around, basically coming to a new track, learning it, and you only get the practice and then it's qualifying and basically you're ready into racing. So the competition's a lot harder up the front. You just got to sort of get your head nutted around and work out where best to get in there. The guys that have been racing for a lot longer than me. They've done the rounds for maybe the last 2 or 3 years. They've raced the tracks. They sort of know your car setup, where we're still jumping into it and learning each track as we go. But I think we're picking up pretty good, and the competition is quite fierce out there, but you just got to get your mind around it and work towards the front. Yeah, this is my first time in Queensland. It's a little bit technical, basically all straights. You got to have a lot of horsepower and get a good run down the back straight sort of thing. And we're learning it, we're picking it up slowly and surely, but yeah, we'll get there towards the end of the weekend and hopefully get some good podium positions. Hoping for a top 3 finish in the first year of doing it. For me, that'll be a good highlight in my racing career, just for the first year that we've actually attempted to do it. Top 3 would be a good goal to set and achieve.
Trav Sharp, one to watch in the Dial Before You Dig Australian Saloon Car Series as it makes its annual visit to Queensland Raceway and around where the Queenslanders tend to do very well. Points coming into the weekend, the defending champion has this well in hand. 345 points to Lindsay Kern's 256, and Harley Phelan will be one to watch in the Commodore. He sits third at the moment, Grant Boyden, but Saloon Cars, Queensland territory, lots of locals in the field this weekend looking to do big things.
That's because they love their saloon car racing here in Queensland. Let's take a look at the grid. Simon Tabanor on pole, Lindsay Kearns alongside. That's going to be an interesting battle with those two going down into the first turn. Let's see how it plays out.
So Holdman Ford on the front row, just the way we like it. The 6-cylinder cars are away.
Kearns away slowly though. It looks like Tabanor's going to have the advantage into turn 1. In fact, a pretty bad start for Kearns. He's dropped back a couple of spots.
Yeah, and gets hip and shouldered into turn 1 as well. I think Travis Sharp just got the elbows out into turn 1 and almost got Kearns turned around. So away they go. Good start by Kane Baxter-Smith in the 56 car. So he's come from a little bit further back and now sits second.
Baxter-Smith was having a big look at Simon Tabanor. Now he's getting overtaken and relegated back to third, but he has the inside line, but it was 3 wide there. Kearns on the inside. Oh, around the outside, Baxter-Smith tries to maintain the spot but can't do it. Kearns goes through in a second, then under pressure now for third as this battle continues on this opening lap.
Yeah, that's Travis Sharp, so he's looking on the outside. So a good start from Baxter-Smith from third, which is where he finished race 1. Now he's looking like losing a podium spot because Travis Sharp all over him on the opening lap, looking for the switchback, gets it done.
Beautifully, but look at the left-hand front of his car, courtesy of that tap going into turn 1 with Kearns. There is a bit of damage now. The guard's put in enough that may suggest down here, we'll see it in a moment, that he may have some steering issues. Keeps it wide, turns it in. I reckon there'd be a little bit of understeer in that car. I'd say he's put out his wheel alignment as a result of that tap.
Well, it was a fairly big hit. We didn't quite see it all, but it was a fairly big impact going into turn 1, so properly got up the door of the 67. Anyway, live on, fair bump. It's saloon car racing for you. They like getting rough and ready, and Baxter-Smith up the inside now of Campbell. So Campbell got past in the VT, the Queenslander, but now he's dropped the car at the exit of 1 and lost some ground, and Harley Phelan goes through as well up to P5.
Yeah, just got unsettled as he made it into turn 1, hit a bump and the car stepped out to the left-hand side and as a result run wide. And when they're that close to you, they cost you. No one's close to this guy at the moment, especially in the series. Simon Tabanor is just streaking away with this year's results.
And this is a sign of a driver driving well. He's so composed and relaxed behind the wheel, just a bit of a settle down in the seat out of turn 3. He's very selective on the gears, nice and smooth. This is what happened a little bit earlier at 1, and I think Campbell just a little bit too hot into turn 1. Craig Campbell fired the car off the road, but he's gathered it up and the Commodore driver will live to fight another day.
Queenslander Lindsay Kearns is doing a great job in holding on to Simon Tabanor. It hasn't let him get away in spite of the fact that he's had a few battles on the opening couple of laps. Now he's composed himself and starting to set sights as well. Baxter Smith runs wide onto the final, through the final turn onto the straight, now under pressure.
And that's Harley Phelan in the Clean Duck racing car, looks up the inside at turn one.
Oh, he's got nothing between these two. The Clean Duck car on the inside, but Baxter Smith lives to play another day.
The Purple Commodore, it's a beautiful paint job. It's getting aggressive though, and looked up the inside of one of the quickest corners around. And Baxter Smith, to his credit, had the racing line. He held on. So Tabanor, Kearns, Sharp, 1, 2, 3. Baxter Smith, Phelan and Craig Campbell, the battle of the moment for 4th, 5th and 6th position. Just looking down the inside, he couldn't quite get it stopped, but watch his good drive out of turn 3. Look at the squat on the carburetor as it gets out of turn 3, getting that power down.
That's the beauty of having so much body roll. You see how hard they are trying. This is a great little dice. Baxter Smith on the inside. Harley Phelan tries to switch back again. Baxter Smith's the way to it, just inches his car to the left a little bit and says, no, you're going to have to do better than that.
And this is the benefit of Queensland Raceway. It's a racing track. It might not be a driver's favourite, but man, you can race here, you can switch back, you can pass, and you can run side by side. Tabanor, nice one-handed driving there, thank you very much. Just a bit of opposite lock through the final corner. It's amazing he's so relaxed because Lindsay Kearns and Travis Sharp are pushing him hard at the front of the field and almost on a lap record pace, Simon Tabanor. So the pace is on at the front. This is not an easy race for the defending champion.
I love how they say it's not the driver's favourite track, Queensland Raceway. They've all got the same track to race on. It's the same for everyone.
Yeah, exactly right.
And as I've heard a few team managers saying, you know how you can tell when a driver's whinging? Their lips are moving.
Yeah.
Not my quote, mind you.
No, that is not a direct Grant Boyden quote. Just seconded on, yes, all complaints, please, on the back of an envelope to G. Boyden, care of this program.
But that's what I love about it. Everyone's got an opinion, and that's what motorsport is.
Yeah.
All about opinion.
And the passion, isn't it? The way that they get driven. And we're seeing some of that passion in this battle that's going on a little bit further down the field. So the saloon cars are great because of that. We get racing from start to finish and right the way through the field. The 41 car of Mark Primmer dicing with the number 88 Spray Tech car, Brian Hine, another Queenslander. And looking down the inside into turn 4, Hine holds his place. A livery very reminiscent of the Queensland team back in V8 Supercars of certain Shane Van Gisbergen's forward in V8 Supercar land a couple of years ago.
And what's great about the saloon cars is as this race goes on, the dial before you dig, tyres start to really heat up and really start to go to their limit. So 1 minute you come down to a turn and you brake at the 70-metre mark, and about 4 laps later it's the 150-metre mark. You've just got to be so on it. And that's why we see them locking up tyres towards the latter half of these races. It's not because they're making mistakes, it's just because the tyres have really started to overheat and you have to adjust your driving style to that. Easy to say, a lot harder to do.
Bradley Moss just behind there in the number 29 Glider City Motel Benella entry, the pink and black Falcon, the pink GT stripes. Often you don't see that kind of colour in a GT stripe on Ford, but it works. And Cameron Moss, the fellow New South Welshman, just behind. Unfortunately, a very rough start to the race in the second of the dial before you dig cars, so he's rounding out this 15-car field. But there is Moss, in fact, so actually he's in front, so he's looking pretty good. Primmer further up the road. Got my dial before you dig cars mixed up. There's Mark Primmer further up the road.
Behind under a bit of pressure now. The dial before you dig cars on the outside. He's going to apply the blowtorch. Let's see what the Spray Tech car can do. We'll have to keep it pretty tight. Just runs a little bit wide. Gets the nose up the inside. Moss tries, but has to back out of it. That was very close between those two.
Almost contact, but rubbing racing in saloon cars. It's fair bump play on. Down the outside. Moss on Moss. This could be interesting. Side by side. Ford versus Ford. And Moss 1 on the outside. Moss 2 on the inside. Or vice versa.
It's like go-kart racing in many aspects. You could see he had a decent go at trying to overtake and couldn't get it done, and then all of a sudden comes under pressure.
Campbell under pressure from Gavin Ross through turn 2. Ross got a great run through the corner, and a trio of Commodores fighting it out. One's leading the race, but that's a battle for 5th, 6th and 7th position. Phelan really applying the pressure on the back there too. This guy in control, out in front, and sets a new lap record on lap 6 at a 1:23.69. So He's pushing on our race leader. Look how relaxed he is, Grant.
Do you see that? Opposite lock, just one hand. He's smoothing it out with the left hand. Just total control. He knows he's got a good lead. He's protecting his tyres, protecting the lead, and just cruising to what he hopes is another victory.
It's just domination at the moment, isn't it, by the man who wanted to go back-to-back. No one's done it in about 5 years in saloon car racing. Bruce Heinrich was the last guy to win back-to-back saloon car titles in the mid-2000s. So Simon Tapenor very keen to do that. Lindsay Kearns, however, to his eternal credit, has pushed him extremely hard this weekend and is within less than a second as they start the final lap.
There's Travis Sharp as we see him make his way around the circuit on this final lap. There's still a lot of positions that could change before this checkered flag does drop, though.
So this guy looking in complete control.
This is probably not one, though.
No, it's not. Let's be honest. He's in supreme touch at the moment, driving well. Talk of a V8 Touring Car Series move next year, much in the form of Bruce Heinrich, a former saloon car champion, and Sean Jamieson. John Goodacre, of course, the former frontrunner in this category now in Porsches. So saloon car racing, it's a great category to really learn your ropes and learn some great racecraft and then take a step somewhere else in the motorsport landscape when you've done it for a couple of seasons. But this guy, so determined to win back-to-back championships. He didn't actually practice Friday. He didn't get here till late Friday. So he jumped straight into qualifying, polled it, and has dominated from there.
This will be a great result for Travis Sharp, who's come all the way from Western Australia here to Queensland this weekend, finds himself in a podium spot. You were talking about gaining experience and gaining knowledge. He's done that today, but none more than Simon Tapenor. Checkered flag is out, and it's another demoralising victory for his opposition. He takes maximum points in race 2.
Lindsay Kearns pushed him very hard the whole way through, and that great fight between the Commodores goes to the favour of Gavin Ross in 5th, behind the exciting Kane Baxter-Smith. Campbell was 6th, Phelan 7th, Rogers, Chivers and Patton completed the top 10.
I don't get nervous at all whatsoever. The calmest place to be is sitting in the seat. We're quite happy with that, and it's funny because you go out there and you make a mistake, and I sort of talk to myself and you go, come on, you're better than that, you know what I mean? Just calm down and do what you do. But the Fords are real quick and keeping you honest. It's real. With Lindsay and the young guy Sharp, I say they're coming on real strong. So.
Well, the question was, will Simon Tapenor be able to make it 3 in a row here at Queensland Raceway? He's supremely confident, and he got off to a great start in the 3rd race, Richard.
I think if you surveyed most people in the paddock, they would have said yes, but he was under a little bit of pressure early in the race. Lindsay Kearns, we saw in race 2, very good. Travis Sharp hanging it all out in the opening laps.
Yeah, there was plenty of people doing a lot of that, pushing these cars to the absolute limit in this 3rd and final race. It was lay it on the line and see what you've got, and have a go at Ross, having a go at Travis Sharp. It was Tapenor that was leading by a good margin, but there was a great battle for 3rd, and Ross was able to find a way past and relegate Travis Sharp back into 4th spot.
Yep, made it a 1-3 for the Holdens, a Ford in 2nd and 4th, and that's the way they finished, 3 from 3 for Simon Tapenor. A clean sweep at Queensland Raceway.
Well, the car's just been easy to drive all weekend, which makes it nice. I mean, the lads have done a real good job on it. So, I've got to thank Chris Milton Engines, Pedder Suspension and Dandenong, them guys, Renee and John and Gav Ross's crew for all the help on the weekend, because we blew a couple of head gaskets early on and had to sort all that out. So.
Equipment held up then?
Yeah, the car's been faultless then all weekend. It hasn't missed a beat. So.
What's the secret out here to becoming in the top 3?
Just not running off the track. If you run off, I ran off once and blew a tyre this weekend, so it was sort of put you out pretty quick.
And what about for the future races to come? Any strategy?
We enjoy Phillip Island if it's not too wet or anything like that, and so we might go okay in Phillip Island, so we just got to get there and have some fun.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. We came here with not much knowing of the track, so we sort of plugged away, practice. We only had a limited amount of time. Qualifying got a little bit better. Weekend got home and we made a few positions on the track, got up to a good position for the last race and kept hold our spot for the weekend, which gave us the end result of 3rd.
Well, Simon Tapenor has extended his lead 755 points over Travis Sharp on 520, and Harley Phelan not that far behind, just 2 points back on 518. It's been a big weekend for Simon Tapenor yet again.
Yeah, building his lead and on course to a 2nd championship. That's it from Queensland Raceway for this week. Don't forget, for more information about the Shannon's Nationals, head to thenationals.com.au.